play-in games underway in the NBA yesterday. Two very exciting games. Saw Portland beat Phoenix and Charlotte beat Miami. I didn't see the end of the game, but Gene Bush and Anthony were just telling me about it. And
Crazy.
Probably was a crazy ending to that one.
Hey, NBA basketball, I'm going to tell you right now, people don't miss in playoffs.
You got to get ramped back up because for the last 6 weeks we've been watching meaningless basketball. Yep. And now it's just like that, flip of the switch.
I mean,
now it's great basketball again.
I mean, guys who you're just like, this is a role player. Like, if you're up 8 can be going just like that.
Oh, yeah.
8's gone.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Cavs, there's no play-in involving the Cavs. They knew who they're playing, the Toronto Raptors. I know for the last bunch of weeks during the regular season, we thought they'd play the Hawks. It turned out to be the Raptors. On the last day of the season, the Raptors locked in that 5 spot, and the Hawks ended up at 6. First game, we gave you the schedule earlier, is Saturday at 1 p.m., and the Raptors, at least on paper, Mike, appear to be a good matchup for the Cavs, right?
Yeah.
Raptors don't shoot a lot of threes.
Exactly. In terms of what Toronto does offensively versus what Cleveland does defensively, I don't think you could have drawn up a better matchup. And what Toronto does offensively is eerily similar to what Detroit, potentially looking ahead to round 2, does offensively. So it should give the Cavs a nice little primer to get ready. Just some numbers so we're all...
Is Detroit definitely going to get past Charlotte?
They still have to... Charlotte still has to win another game before they play Detroit. So you asked earlier, real quick, Portland versus Phoenix was 7 versus 8.
Right, okay.
So because Portland won...
Portland now plays the 2 seed.
They're playing San
Phoenix,
Antonio.
who lost, plays the winner of the 9-10.
Tonight's Clippers-Warriors game.
Right. And Charlotte will now play the loser of the Orlando-Philly
game.
Yes. Right.
So
they play tonight, Orlando-Philly, right? Okay.
So that's out the way. Let's talk some numbers. So during the regular season, Toronto shot the 6th most twos in the entire NBA. They had a 63.6% two-point field goal percentage frequency rate, which was the 6th highest in the league, meaning they shoot a lot of twos. They shoot a ton of mid-range shots. They don't shoot a ton of threes, which, as we've alluded to many times on this show, is something that Cleveland has not done a great job guarding. Cleveland this season went 18-19 this year when the opponent made more threes than they did. Toronto's a team that very rarely shoots enough threes to make enough threes to be in that side of the equation. The Cavs defense, if you want to take the next graphic here, Steve, in terms of how teams shot against them, holding teams inside the arc, the Cavs held opponents to just 53.3% from inside the arc. That was the 6th best mark in the entire NBA, and as we alluded to earlier, they were tied for 27th in terms of opponent makes from beyond the arc and their efficiency and accuracy. So what Toronto does plays almost exactly into what Cleveland wants to do defensively, and that's why I think whether it was Atlanta, whether it was Toronto, it was a no-brainer. Toronto was a significantly better matchup.
I think also Toronto, you said, they've basically been fraudulent second half of the year, piling up wins against bad teams. A few people have brought up to me, well, Toronto swept the Cavs. First of all, those games were all in like the first 6 weeks of the season. And who cares anyway? The fact that the Raptors beat the Cavs in October, November, does that matter to either of you guys?
It would matter if it was the same guys.
It still wouldn't matter to me, but certainly it would matter more, I guess.
If they were 5-0 against us with our same 5 versus their same starting 5, I'd be like a little concerned. Like if you played OKC in the regular season and they swept you, you'd be like, oh shoot, man, we couldn't even hang with them in the regular season. So why not? I mean, if we had Harden then, I'd be like, okay, different team.
Yeah.
We didn't have Harden. We didn't have everybody healthy. Now we do. So I think this is going to be a good matchup for them. I think Mike brings up so many good points. If you were to build a team, like an opponent in a lab and say, we want this perfect opponent for the Cavs for the first round, couldn't have a better one.
Yeah.
Because you want a team that doesn't shoot a ton of threes. And so what it does, I think, is it allows the Cavs to get through a series where they'll be pushed a little bit. I think they'll win this in 5 or 6 games. And it allows our starting 5 now with our new players and pieces who haven't played a lot together in the regular season at the end.
92 minutes. That's
it. So they played 92 minutes, so now all of a sudden you get 5-6 games of them playing together before you have to face a tougher opponent in round 2.
Gee.
Man, here's what I'm going to say, McNuggets. You know how this thing works. Now, your tendencies are what you put on tape. But everybody tells us in the playoffs that it's game to game. If you think the Toronto Raptors don't understand that the Cleveland Cavaliers do not guard the three-point shot very well, they're going to come in and they will force more shots. Brandon Ingram is a long two type guy, but I expect him to shoot more threes. I expect the game plan to be for the Raptors, guys. We understand that the Cavs want to lock down the paint. We understand what the Cavs want to do defensively and funnel our guys to Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. What we need to do, we need to break tendency a little bit. We need to jack up some more threes. And I think that the emphasis on game-to-game adjustments in the NBA playoffs, if it was the NFL, it's kind of hard to gauge and break tendencies outside of who you are. Like, it's difficult to do that outside the 15 scripted plays that you usually got. But in the NBA, where you getting time to really go about and look at what guys can do well and what they don't do well, I think from game to game, they'll have different matchups and different ideology about how they want to attack the Cavs. And I will say this, in the NBA, look, they don't be, I swear it look like they don't be missing. Guys role players don't miss in the NBA. And the Cavs are going to have a difficult time this season if in the playoffs if they do not figure out how to get guys off this three-point line. I think the Cavs do win this series, but I think Scotty Barnes gives them, and I don't understand why, but I hate Scotty Barnes' game. But he gives them problems because of the size. Brandon Ingram can get hot. I think the Toronto Raptors, and it's a tough place to play in Toronto. They'll be excited up there. We talk about going back to with LeBron them. They'll be excited.
Drake's got his ice seats. Have you seen those things?
Yeah.
They are kind of swaggy.
They kind of crazy. Yeah. They're kind of crazy. They will be hype up there. So I expect this to go 6, and I'm gonna tell you, it might go 7.
You know, I get what you're saying, and I think you're probably right that the Raptors will shoot more threes, but that's not their game. So if you do that, you're playing okay to the Cavs' weakness, but you're not playing to your own strength. I'm assuming the reason they don't shoot a lot of threes is because they're not good at shooting threes.
I have some numbers on that. I'm glad you asked.
Go ahead.
We're going to dive into tomorrow. We're going to do McNuggets 5-pack of stats for stuff you need to know. This is a little preview of that.
All right.
Do you know how many players on the Raptors this year made more than 150 threes?
0.
Incorrect. It's 1.
I'm sorry.
1.
It's 1. It's Emmanuel Quickly. He's the only player on the team that made more than 150 threes. Do you know how many players for the Raptors shot better than 40% from 3? Just
0.
Just 40. No, it's not 0. Not that low.
2.
It is 3, but only 1 player that actually will play in this series.
Well, it seems like they shoot pretty well to me.
AJ Lawson shot 42%. He played in 9 games this year for the Raptors. He will not play in the series. Yeah. Jamison Battle shot 41%. He averages 1.2 attempts for 3 per game. He plays 8 minutes a game. He probably is not in their playoff rotation. And Jacoby Walter shot 40.9% from 3. Jacoby Walter plays 20 minutes per game. None of the guys, none of their top 8 players in terms of minutes per game shoot better than 40% from 3. If the Cavaliers come into this matchup and say, hey, Toronto, you want to shoot threes? They are playing a numbers game that heavily favors Cleveland as opposed to Toronto.
I don't like that because you're going to come in here. Guys, it's a make or miss league. I mean, statistically, they weren't supposed to be great, but, I mean, they're knocking them down now. And, what are we going to do? Yeah, it's called get a shot hand up. It's called run them off. Because here's the thing. Do we all agree that that's what they want? Don't people in NBA want that? They want that.
The Raptors don't want that, though.
All right, now listen.
Because if they did, they wouldn't be 25th in the NBA in the amount of threes they took.
Anthony, where Earl at? You clip this. If I come in here next week and the Raptors done shot 67% from the three-point line and they'd have beat the Cavs by 32, you'd be like, listen, just throw that out. Throw that out. Nope. It's an anomaly.
Can I rebuttal for 1 sec?
All right.
I'm picking them in 5 for that exact reason. It's gonna happen one game.
I told you.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen one game. Over the course of a series, I don't think Toronto has any chance to score with Cleveland.
So you are giving them the one anomaly game where we let them shoot and they killed us, but okay, all right. So I'm telling you, I don't like that. Do y'all think this is a quick series?
I said 5 or 6.
You get 5 or 6. Bull.
I lean 5, yeah. They'll get 1 in Toronto.
I'm going to go 6.
6? What you got, McNuggets?
Cavs in 5.
I got 6. And here's the thing, too. Cavs, you better not give up the first one. You can't like.
Oh, it'd be full blown panic time in Cleveland.
No. If that game McNuggets is talking about happens game 1, get ready. We're gonna be out here looking around crazy.
I just wish we had a night game to start. I hate starting on a Saturday after 1
hate
o'clock.
that.
It's such the worst time. Bull and I went to a game years ago, playoff game. This is they played the Celtics, and it was like a Saturday.
Yeah.
It was like 1 o'clock game. Remember this?
Yeah.
Took us to the game.
Yeah.
And then it was like just such a lackluster environment.
It's a weird vibe to have an early afternoon playoff game.
But let's hope, because again, it's a new team now, that they're going to be fired up. And it's not like we have LeBron, and we expected just to sweep every series until we got to the finals. This is kind of like, there is some intrigue watching this team play, but I hope the fans have something to be loud and proud about it about 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday.
And Dustin, I tell you what, McNuggets, I hope you got this one too. Do you got the stats and the win-loss record plus minus for when the Cavs play at 1 o'clock?
I was looking that up. I believe they were horrific is the word I would use this year in the early. Yeah,
nasty work.
Terrible at 1
They
o'clock.
were very, very bad. Kenny Atkinson joked. Someone asked him after they got smoked by, because one of them was the OKC game at home when they got demolished.
Yep.
Right.
And afterwards, Kenny came into the locker room and was like, we suck at 1 p.m. Like, we got to look into it. And he came into the next press conference like, the numbers don't say we suck, but my head says we suck at the 1 p.m. tip-off. So 2 of their first 4 games, guess when tip-off is?
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I don't like
so I will get that number. That'll be part of the 5-pack of McNuggets for y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll get the 1 p.m. stats, but it is
I don't know.
not a good number.
I don't know how much that matters. Again, the regular season versus the playoffs, everything's different. The intensity is different. I could see being lackluster for a day game during the regular season.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming out. If you come out, I shouldn't say nobody because it has happened. But there's no excuse for being lackluster in game 1 of a playoff series ever.
James,
I do agree with that.
They just need to come out fast.
Yes.
And not, I've been to these 1 o'clock games, regular season and playoffs, and when the team comes out in the first quarter and they score 30-plus points, and they hit a bunch of threes, and they're playing good defense, and they're getting some fast breaks, it gets the fans into the game.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to be is sitting on your hands in the middle of the second quarter, and you're down 7 at halftime. You're like,
talk that playoff stuff. That's exactly what you need. You don't need
fast starts.
You don't want to get a corporate. It's a bunch of corporate dudes there. The corporate dudes they bought all the playoff tickets. Ain't no fans there. You got to make sure the corporate dudes that's wearing button-ups underneath the jersey.
Oh yeah, man.
Like they're
underneath the shirts that they put on the chairs.
Oh my gosh, he got a button-up on a Saturday underneath the jersey.
The collar's coming out.
Nasty work. You got to give them dudes an opportunity to stand up. They don't even know what's going on.
Extra white.
Yeah, it's like, hey, good job, buddy. You want to get another round?
I feel like there's a lot of fake confidence right now because I think a lot of Cavs fans are trying to convince themselves they're confident and they're not.
100%.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I don't buy confidence. Like, the team's good. They're playing pretty well. They're pretty healthy. But we've seen this show before. Now, we've never seen it with James Harden, so hopefully it ends differently. But there's nobody on this Cavs roster that you can point to and say, I guess Max Strus maybe, but outside of him, but he's a role player. Outside of him, nobody else you can say, this guy's done it.
Man.
This guy's done it in the postseason. He's made this run. No.
Hey, man, it's just like getting married for the second time. You be on you. You be looking around. You may love the person, but you be like, hey, man, this is going to work. Do you got it in your G Bush? Is this one going to work? You don't know. When you standing up there that second time looking around, you may love. You like, yeah, this is right. But there's always 5% being in the back of your mind. Like, don't mess this one up either. Don't you do it.
Yeah.
Don't blow it, Cavs. Yeah. Bro, you hear? Do not give the Raptors, this money early where you let them get their money off, and then all of a sudden, Scotty Barnes is him now. Like, don't turn people into Himothy by giving them one game at home.